Well, this is probably the last opportunity for Peter Gade to try and win this China Open title. Twice he's been a semi-finalist previously, back in 2003 and 2005. Can you believe his first quarter-final appearance here at the China Open was in 1997, 14 years ago. Well, he's 34 years of age. He's going to turn 35 next month, December.
Flower or number?
I think his birthday is actually during the Superseries finals in Luzhou.
You take ends. Service?
It's interesting. Peter Gade has said that he wants to start this near side of the court as we look down. Born in Aalborg in Denmark. 5 times a World Championship medalist. Silver medal in 2001 in Seville. Lost out to an Indonesian player called Hendrawan. Hendrawan now coaching in Malaysia. And Peter Gade Dane, former All-England champion, there he is. 1999 he won that title, and it's just remarkable when you look at his world ranking there. Number 4 in the world, 40 and 14, his win-loss record. Number 11 in the world ranking. Super Series ranking has gone down to 13, down 2 places. And he was quarter-finalist here a couple of years ago, was Simon Santoso, losing out to Ning. That was his last appearance here. This is the 14th meeting between the two, the 5th meeting this year. The last time they met was the quarter-final of the Japan Open earlier this year. 2 straight games, as you can see. In fact, of the previous 4 meetings this year, Peter Gade has won the last 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Kino Game, stand by. On my left, Simon Santoso, Indonesia. Simon Santoso to serve. Number 6.
So the unseeded Simon Santoso, the 26-year-old. Fresh from his victory at the Southeast Asian Games last week, his gold medal in Jakarta. Retained his Southeast Asian Games title. So he should be full of confidence, Simon Santoso, and also full of confidence the fact that to get through to this quarter-final stage, yesterday defeated his teammate, former world and Olympic champion, number 8 seed, Taufik Hidayat, in 2 straight games. In fact, for his 2 matches so far, he's been on court 1 hour and 22 minutes. Compare that to Peter Gade, who his first round match against Sun Won Ho of Korea, that in itself lasted 1 hour and 23 minutes. So a minute longer for 1 match than Santoso's 2 matches. And you couple that first round victory, which ended up 22-20 in the deciding game. Couple that with his match yesterday against China's Du Pengyu, which was 1 hour and 7 minutes, so 2 hours 30 minutes on court. And I can't help but wonder, Ian, if And that's going to have its influence today. As a man that's already 34, about to be 35, don't recover so quickly the older you get, do you?
Yeah, Peter's been one of the players that's been talking about the speed of the hall, but with all his experience, he said, you know, it was the same last year. It was a very slow hall last year, so he was ready for it. But he's also said that he doesn't feel he's in actually the best form of his life at the moment physically. He's looking forward to a spell of training just to get back in tip-top condition for the European season starting 2012. Having said that, he's used all of his experience in those first 2 round matches, because there were moments in both matches where it looked as though he was probably going to lose them, but he managed to find a tactic and find a way to turn them round and get through. And I have to say, the last couple of times he's played Simon, he's completely dominated him mentally. So it'll be an interesting match, this one. As you said, Simon won the SEA Games last week, but of course it was a double gold with the team event as well, but that means that he has played a lot of matches recently, so Simon also may be just getting a little bit jaded himself. It was quite a heavy schedule, the SEA Games, with the team event on top of the individual.
It is quite remarkable to think that Peter Gade became world #1 on the 4th of November 1997. Here he is, still in the top 4 in the world. And actually last year reached at least a semi-final of every single tournament he played. Reigning European champion, Peter Gade. In fact, 5 times European champion. Never lost in the event. Super shot. And that one was just wide. Oh, I didn't look it from that.
No, it looks like Simon might have had a point there.
Superb. My goodness me. You don't get much better than that.
That's a great shot. Just a little hold, just a little cut across the shuttle. Very, very short as well.
Just long, my goodness me, having weathered the storm, did remarkably well to keep in the rally early on. And then misses on the back line. I do think, Ian, that his consistency over the years, Peter Gade, has just been extraordinary, really, when you think of the fact that, well, his World Championship medals dating back so long, top 4 in the world over such a period of time, 14 years, and even over the last couple of years until the French Open, they lost in the second round. Gone for over 2 years, reaching at least the quarter-final of every event he played.
Yeah, I think you'd find that he'd give a lot of those results away, though, for one of the major titles that he's missed out on. At the end of the day, Peter's someone who's always yearned to win one of those big ones, and so far he's not going to have another chance at the World Championships. And, you know, he's gone into that top seed a couple of times, not been able to deliver. One final, and the Olympics is yet to medal.
Yeah, he was 4th in the Olympics in 2000 in Sydney. Lost the bronze medal playoff match to Charles Ranzer, who of course is now coaching the men's singles players from China.
Yes, I remember it well. I mean, that was the... I believe that was the first time they'd been in the medal playoffs, wasn't it, Sydney? Is that right? I think it... No, it was in Atlanta, was it?
Atlanta was the first time.
I have to say, Peter was distraught after losing that semi-final. He really was probably a big favourite to win his semi-final, and having lost it, really couldn't get himself together for that medal playoff. Yeah. Really wasn't in any state to play the following day. That bronze medal match, hadn't expected to be in the bronze medal match, and really couldn't get himself together for it.
Well, I have to say, whilst I haven't played a bronze medal match in Olympic Games, I have in other major games, and they've been the worst, most difficult matches I've ever played in my life. It is desperately difficult.
It's harsh, it's very harsh. You build up for 4 years for the Olympics, you get to a semi-final, you lose.
You're that close to being in the final. And
yeah, you know, so many occasions people have had match points to go to Olympic finals and missed out, and then the next day they have to come back to try and win a medal. It's very harsh. And over the years, for that very reason, I think we've seen a lot of surprising results in those matches.
That's 4 straight points from 7-9 down to 11-7, 11-9 up.
Så skal vi have ham væk først, sådan at du kan komme frem og komme højt på forbanen, ikke? Ellers stiller han sig bare frem og kører rundt. meget gerne, men det næste gang.
Yeah, I'm sure it is a real tactical battle so far. Both players using a lot of variety. They're both very skillful players. I have to say Simon Santoso also a very skillful player. And in this hall, you've got to have a lot. You've got to use a lot of variety. You've got to be very patient. As you say, the danger is with Peter that he's had 2 such long matches in the first round matches. You know, how long will his stamina last in this match? And I'm sure that's what the Indonesian coach was saying to his player. Be patient, don't give him easy points, make him work. Let's see what he's got in the tank today.
Well, the luck of the net cord. Immediately apologises, does Simon Santoso.
Yeah, another punishing rally.
Court needing to be mopped of the perspiration. Simon Santoso, 5 career titles, just 1 Super Series. That was the 2009 Danish Open. Beat Mark Schwiebler in the final.
I'm sure Peter will be thinking that if he can keep it close with his record over Simon, that mentally he's probably got an advantage. And I think Peter's certainly trying to keep the tempo quite low at the moment, trying to control the game, keep the pace out of the game, just trying to stay in it.
Oh,
Again, yeah, but
missed opportunity.
yeah, but Peter's happy to play counter-attack. He's happy to give the high lift, happy to let Simon come onto him. And the defence was a long defence. It wasn't a block defence, and Simon just guilty of making the error. But they're the sorts of points that will give Peter confidence in this match. He can win those sorts of points, stay in this game. I'm sure he thinks if it gets tight at the end, he's got the advantage mentally and tactically. Yeah.
Good angle.
Yeah, good angle, and this time Simon a little bit more patient. Peter gave him a lot of opportunities in the rear court, but Simon didn't really overcommit and eventually found a nice angle. I say it's turned into a nice tactical battle, this. Again, Peter taking as much time as he can between the points.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wasn't a bad spinning neck shot from Santoso, but my goodness, the control here to make this kill. In fact, it was a neck cord from Simon Santoso. Gade did so well there.
Yeah, again, giving Simon time in the rear court. Simon makes the error. Peter controlling the tempo of the rallies at the moment. Yeah, good control play again. Mixing up the pace, put one smash in the middle there, mixed it up with the drop shots. Nice cross angle to win, took it early. Playing a very controlled game though, isn't he, Jill?
Yeah.
Really dictating what pace this match is being played at the moment.
He's always been a very clever player, very astute tactically though. Always been a great believer in playing badminton the right way as well. Well, helped by the net courts, Simon Santoso. Yeah, shuttle just got deflected.
Yeah, and again, up until that point, Peter had been very much in control of the rally. And he'd read the direction of the shuttle, he was going to take that early, but for the net cord. Yeah, again, Peter tempting Simon into going for the cross-court attack. And then playing the nice, simple, tight, straight block. Simon unable to cover it and control it. A nice counter-play from Peter.
Well, it's called good. I have to say my initial reaction was that it was just wide. But of course, desperately difficult for an umpire to overrule on that far sideline, opposite side of the court from the umpire's chair.
Yes, too close to overrule, but I have to agree with you, Jill. First impression, we're quite well placed behind the court. First impression was out.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, and it's good patient play again from Peter. Doesn't feel as though there's any threat from the rear court against Simon, pinning him in those back two corners, and eventually Simon losing patience and going for too much. Good match play.
Yeah, I have to say, though, it's good to see Simon Santoso getting back to somewhere near his best form, because, of course, last year struggled. I think it was a back injury, wasn't he? He only played 5 individual tournaments. Struggled all year.
That's just a little bit shorter. Peter just losing his length there. Simon able to take it a bit early, and that makes all the difference.
Oh, yeah. That's a super shot from Gade.
Yeah, it's the length, hitting a good length, isn't he, Jill? Keeping Simon pinned in the rear court. And then first time Simon loses his length. Peter taking good advantage with that acute cross-court angle.
the acute awareness of where the gap is.
Yeah, Simon's just struggling tactically here. Peter's reading everything that he's hitting from the rear court. Peter hitting a good length and then feeding off Simon's shots. Able to take them early, read the direction.
That's push wide. And all of a sudden, 5 game points to Peter Gade. Wow, that's absolutely superb. From 11-13 down, 10 of the next 12 points going to Peter Gade. And he closes out the opening game 21-15. 22 minutes of play.
Yeah, bit of a masterclass tactically there, Jill. Peter really dominating the play. Showing all young players that are watching how to play in a slow haul. How to control the tempo of a match, how to control your opponent, take his options away. And I've seen it once or twice this year already with these, when these two have played each other. Simon just gets frustrated tactically. Hasn't really got any solutions.
Are you suggesting he's really only got one style of play then that he uses?
No, I think Simon's got a lot of variety. I think it's just against Peter. I think he's got a little bit of a block. I think he's got a lot of respect for Peter, and he's always worrying about what Peter's doing rather than concentrating on his own game. I mean, I think Simon actually, I know it's a slow haul, but he needs to use a little bit of smash. Maybe 1 or 2 smashes to the middle just to fix Peter in the middle of the court, create some space. But he needs more variety, more changes of pace, more changes of angle. He's been drawn into playing Peter's pace, and he's really got to break that.
Shi Feng on the right there. We're having a long discussions yesterday as to whether Lin Dan is actually married to Shi Feng or whether they're still just engaged. So Peter Gade, having taken the opening game, 21-15, with a real surge for the second half of that opening game. Oh, that's a lovely drop shot.
Yeah, and again, Peter able to soak up the rear court play of Simon. And when he gets his own opportunity, he doesn't go for the smash, goes for the placement. And again, Simon caught a little bit flat-footed in defence.
Oh, string's gone in the racket. Some of the Danish players. Jochen Fischer from the mixed doubles. Carsten Bergensen, who's already 3 in the men's doubles.
Nice change of pace from Peter there.
Well, That's unusual. Peter was talking to his coaches at the back of the court there. Missed it.
Yeah, very noticeable if we see this. Peter's length was very, very good, and again Simon just guilty of forcing that cross-court attack, giving himself no margin. He was right on the baseline. Yeah, Peter just trying to mix it up, playing a slightly quicker, flatter rally, but that probably suits Simon a little bit better.
Do you remember from Peter's first two matches which end of the court he started? Whether that far side is his favoured end is what I'm trying to ascertain. Because both his previous matches he dropped the second game. Won the first, dropped the second, and then came back in the third.
That's a good question, Jill. I watched both matches as well.
So did I.
Give me a minute, I'll have a think about that one. Yeah, with Sean, he lost from this end, actually. He lost from the end he's playing now, certainly.
Because Peter Gade obviously won the toss, and he decided which end he wanted to start. And I just wondered if that was very significant, that he sort of felt.
It's interesting in this second game that he seems to be attacking a little bit more from this end. Maybe he thinks it's slightly quicker from this end. But putting pace in the game has actually suited Simon so far in this second game. Simon thrives on rhythm in the game, and Peter took all that rhythm away from him in the first game by playing high to the rear court, going over the interceptions, forcing Simon to play right from the rear of the court and take one or two chances. But Peter's just put a bit of pace on here, and as I say, Simon's responded very well.
Good net shot.
It's always a difficult one, isn't it, Jill? Even if there's a difference in ends, sometimes I think you choose a tactic to play with from one end and you win a game with it. Sometimes I'm never sure about changing the tactics for the second game, even if the end's different. Why not start with that same tactic that you've just won with, just to see if you can do it again from that end?
I totally agree with that. Certainly when I was a player, that's what I felt. Would never change a winning tactic.
And I don't think there's been an enormous difference in the ends this week. I think they're both quite slow. There's not a really quick end. So I don't really see the need to change the tactics drastically, particularly when you've won.
No, exactly. If things start going awry, then of course I always used to then try and change tactics, but I'd stick with the winning thing initially. It was working in the first game.
Yep, certainly Peter not being as patient at the start of this second game.
Well, once again, Simon Santoso is not convinced by the call. No, I thought that was the correct call. I thought that was wide.
Yeah, that looked well out. Maybe a little bit paranoid after the last one where he probably had a better case. It's noticeable Peter not hitting to the rear court from this end. Hitting down, isn't he? First game he used the rear court so well to control it. Good play, good angle. That gives him the time to get in behind it. Finds the winning shot.
That's drifted wide.
Yeah, that's a poor shot. Took it early. Lacked conviction.
Yeah, 4 straight points to Peter Gade. Oh, that's a super angle.
7-9.
Yeah, you're right. He's very reluctant to hit to the back of the court there, trying a difficult, deceptive net shot, making the error, and I'm surprised he just didn't lift it to the back.
Yeah, surprising, because he's read the direction very well of Simon's attacking play from the rear court. He's been able to defend quite comfortably, really, for most of this match. But yeah, he's not hitting the clear anymore, is he?
And if he starts hitting down all the time from the back of the court, physically it's going to be much more difficult for him than it is for Santoso. As Peter Gade will have to hit down, move back towards the base position, perhaps move back again in court or move all the way forward. Yeah, it's a good smash. Well, 4 straight points to Peter Gade, replied with 4 straight points for Santoso.
Yeah, good interception. Simon too flat with that lift. Peter read it, got up early.
Well, Simon Santoso has the advantage, as indeed he did in the opening game, in the big game interval, but he couldn't convert.
Peter will be disappointed with that. That's his favoured area. Took it early.
One of these pictures from the opening game.
Well, one would suspect that Peter's going to come out and try and get control of this after the break. I think the next 3 or 4 points will be very interesting.
Yeah, that's certainly what he managed to do in the opening game. Great effect.
Again, he's insisting on hitting down.
Oh, it's called good. I wasn't convinced by that myself.
He probably deserves one. He's had 3 called out.
Ladies and gentlemen, flash photography is not allowed during the match.
No, good deception.
Serve, so.
Positive, stepped onto it, didn't let the shuttle come to him. You'll see him move forward quickly, hold, and then the flick and the change of direction with the racket. Good skill.
Yeah, so too was that. But I did notice when Simon Santoso lifted the shuttle to the back of the court, the first lift, his base position was so far forward. He's beginning to really realise that Peter Gade is hitting an awful lot coming down. That's nice.
Serve, so.
Finds the line.
13-12.
Yeah, well worked rally.
14-12.
Yeah, and your point was proved in that rally, Jill, in that Simon was really anticipating the drops, stayed very high on the court.
Oh, that's gone well wide.
Yeah, just not as confident from this end, is he, with the length? Not as confident to use the clear that he was so effective with in the first game. At the moment, you'd have to say this second game is drifting away from him.
No, that's gone wide.
Serve, so. 13-15.
Yeah, broke a string, actually. That probably was the problem there, because he took the shuttle early.
Four Super Series titles for Peter Gade. Won the first ever Super Series event, the 2007 Malaysian Open. And that was incredible because he was ill on the plane going to Malaysia. Ended up in hospital. Came out of hospital 2 days later. Promptly won the tournament.
13-15. Play. Serve, so. 16-13.
Just trying to force the drop there. Not willing to use the rear court. Made the error. Even if it had gone over, Simon had covered it quite comfortably. He was high on the court, would have taken it early.
Well, Peter is absolutely incensed. Well, I think he has a fair point. I don't think it was clearly out, but it looked out.
Well, the rule says the umpire has to see that it's a clear error, and I wouldn't call that a clear error. That would have been tough to overrule, particularly as he's looking down on it, probably can't see the gap.
Be interesting to see whether he can use his anger and aggression, channel it in the right direction to his advantage. That's just too good.
19-14.
Yeah, that was really a defensive lift, just a little bit short. That gave Simon the options. He's gone cross a few times. That time he went straight.
So 2 points away from taking this second game. That's a good smash though from Gade.
Yeah, again with his record against Simon, he'll be thinking, if I can just get 1 or 2 points here, there's a chance Simon will make 1 or 2 errors. There's a chance he'll start to think about, can he beat me? Can he take a game off me?
Just under 143 miles per hour, that smash.
But there's the problem. I mean, again, Peter in the rear court, Simon's base is so high, looking for those drops. Able to take it early, play the cross block. That made Peter very late.
So 5 game points. Yep. 1 game all. 21-15, as indeed was the opening game. 1 game apiece, and will be treated to a third and deciding game. 46 minutes already this match has been in progress.
Well, it'll be interesting third game tactically, Jill, I have to say. Presumably, from Peter's perspective, from his style of play, he's the player who's had the most time out on court this week. He feels for him there is a big difference between the ends. Enough of a difference to make him completely change his tactics between first and second game. Presumably he'll go back to counter-attack as he did in the first game for the first half of this third game. Could be a different game now though, because Simon's found a bit of rhythm. He's found some precision with his attacking play. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds in the early part of this third game.
Final game. Level. Play.
Well, here's an interesting statistic. Of their 13 previous matches, only gone to 3 games 3 times, but every time it's gone to 3 games, it has been won by Peter Gade.
Oh, that's wild.
1 stop.
Yep, here we go. Much more confident with his length from this end. Back to the patient game we saw in the first game, but as I say, Simon's found a bit of confidence in that second game. Might not be as effective now. Yeah, that's a good change of pace and direction from Simon.
Yeah, just slicing across the feathers, bringing it down so steeply. Well, he's hit one at 233 already. That one more about angle, I suspect.
Go. 1, 2.
That to me,
3, 1.
well, that error seemed almost like a desperation. I've got to hit a winner.
Yeah, that's a couple of errors he's made overhead in this game. Start of this third game. Yeah, again, that's a good angle from Simon. I have to say, he looks a lot more confident, having been able to take that second game. Peter trying to go back to the tactic that was so effective in the first game, pushing into the rear court, but Simon playing with a lot more precision now.
That took courage.
Yeah, good pressure. One step off. Tempted Simon into playing the second net. Very quick back in to kill.
Peter urging himself on. Come on, he's saying to himself. testing rally.
And again, Simon staying right up the court there. I think at the start of the rally it was Peter trying to run Simon, and by the end of the rally it was Simon running Peter. There was a definite switch in ascendancy during that rally, and that looks as though it might have hurt Peter a little bit.
Yeah, I just sensed as the rally was in progress that it was a very important point.
Yeah, Simon showed good patience there, didn't force it. Peter was looking to play counter. Simon didn't go for it, kept pushing to the rear court himself and eventually found the space.
Another one drops on the line, and it would appear from that far from it being playing quicker from that far side of the court, which actually makes Gade's decision not to play anything to the back of the court in that second game from that far side even more bewildering. And there we were, Ian, singing his praises about his tactical awareness in the opening game. All seems to have gone horribly wrong.
Well, with these big hauls, sometimes Peter's clearly gone on with a very clear idea tactically what he wanted to do. He chose ends when he won the toss. He took an end he felt comfortable to play counter-attack with, won it, totally controlled it, turned around and felt he'd got to change his game with the change of ends. But, you know, sometimes with these big hauls, with a crowd in, conditions change from day to day. And as I say, as a coach, you'd probably want him to start the second game with how he's dominated the first game, just to see what happens early on. Very easy to switch tactics, but to switch straight away looked a little bit strange to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from the way they're leaving it both ends, it doesn't look as though it's one end's consistently faster than the other end to me. Oh, good agility there. Nice shot.
That's nice. I do think the number of times that Peter Gade has lifted down the forehand side of Santoso, and Simon Santoso is finding the line so well with his straight smash.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too flat, that lift. Normally Peter's so good at holding that and fixing his opponent, but there, just simple cross lift, a little bit too flat, intercepted.
Another two lifts to the forehand side.
Yep, got it right this time. Would suggest, as this is his favoured end in this match so far, he needs some points on the board before he changes.
Yeah, goodness, that was close, wasn't it?
Service charge, Shenyang, China.
No, it's just wide. Well, you just feel that Gade has to be, if not in the lead, very close score-wise at the change of ends.
Good rally. And again, Simon giving no space in the front court. Not backing off, holding his position. And that's an easy kill.
"58 minutes this match has been in progress. So yet another match, it's bound to be over the hour mark. Peter Gade's first two matches, both over the hour. And that looked a tired looking shot to me. Error around the head there from Peter Gade, the number 4 seed.
Yeah, Peter looking a little bit frustrated there. He's going to have to prove himself the master tactician now, because he really struggled from this end in the second game.
Clearly audible. Voice from the crowd saying, "Come on, Peter." He's very, very popular all around the world. All the fans, badminton fans, love watching Peter Gade play. And all respect him greatly. The fact that he's remained at the top of world badminton for so long.
He's clearly going to attack from that end. He's going to stick to his guns, stick to his tactic.
No, he's missed it. He just, again, I get the feeling that he's so desperate not to have a long rally and to try and play the winner quite early on that he's going for the line, not giving himself any margins and making the error.
Found the line that time. Needed to be the line though. Simon had read the direction. He was there.
Yes, that's clever. Little hold and flick from Simon Santoso.
Yeah, but again, Simon's base position so high on the court, he's able to take that very early. Peter in no man's land, really. Probably couldn't have covered the net shot either.
Oh, he's called a fault.
Well, this will be interesting. It'll be interesting if we get a replay.
No, we certainly won't see it from this angle.
Well, he certainly didn't hit the net with his racket. It's whether he was over the net.
Yeah, it's all looking fairly desperate now for the Dane, isn't it?
Yeah, just not as comfortable this end, is he?
A great credit to Simon Santoso.
Yeah, absolutely. Lost the first game in rather a timid fashion, really. Made a lot of errors. He's managed to turn this match right around.
Just sense that as far as Peter Gade is concerned, it's almost a stage of now or never. Got to start making inroads into closing this gap.
Well, again, noticeable. Simon pushing to the rear court, keeping his base up the court. But missed it. Read it well. Just snatched at the shuttle.
Oh, that is magnificent shot there from Simon Santoso.
Yeah, that was really clever play. 3 or 4 times he'd used the jump smash. And that time just relaxed a bit, took the pace off the shuttle, put more slice on it, brought it down shorter, brought the shuttle down shorter. Peter couldn't cover it.
Yeah, and very telling that he stayed down for so long. Yeah, it's not surprising if he was tired. Hour and 6 minutes already. Just seems to want to try and increase the pace, and it's his pace of movement, whereas Simon Santoso just seems to be staying on the base position and not really having to move that much. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's great pressure, great pressure. 3-4 smashes, keeping the tempo high. Probably knows he's got a physical advantage now, doesn't want to let the pace drop. It's one last big push. Yeah, good angle again, good pressure. Noticeable didn't go for the line, as he didn't do in the previous rally with the 3 or 4 smashes he hit. Gave himself a margin, just trying to keep pace on the rally at the moment. Knows he's got a good advantage. Doesn't need to hit lines at the moment.
Yeah, 8-point advantage to be precise. And just 2 points away from a place in the semi-final. Just 1 point required now. He's just ground down Peter Gade. And I suspect those long, long first 2 matches that the Dane came through have indeed had their effect on today's quarter-final. Oh, service fault called. Match point, would you believe it? Not one service fault called throughout the entirety of the match so far.
To be fair, it's the first time he's used that flick. Well, just as saying, he's playing with a good margin, goes for a line to try and win it with the line and misses it. So he's had good reason to give himself margin.
Oh, it's dropped out. Well, 3 match points have been saved. And another 6 remain in favour of Santoso.
Good rally from Peter, good precision.
He's missed it. Surely not. Surely they couldn't have the comeback of all comebacks.
Certainly Simon looking a little bit nervy in that rally, that's for sure. And again, he's gone for a line when he probably had 1.5 meters to play with.
Oh, 5.
Poor decision.
Match points have come and gone. Yeah, crowd chanting Peter. Missed it this time. Simon Santoso converts. What a match. Well, the crowd responds to Peter Gade. Well, didn't actually shake hands with the umpire, which I think is disappointing because Peter Gade is normally a perfect gentleman on court. That final smash going wide, and therefore the victory. Simon Santoso through to the semi-final with a 15-21, 21-15, 21-16 victory in an hour and 13 minutes.